All right, this is Concept Development, Module 2, Lesson 22. So our big idea today is to use exactly what we've been doing first in our previous lessons and what we've done in probably for the last 2 weeks. We are going to use our estimating skills. That's step 1. Step 2. We're going to use our quotient. So we're going to use the answer from our estimation as as we go through, as we're trying to choose, we're going to use, so we have, here is our divisor, here is our dividend, here is our quotient, right? So we're going to use our answer here to try out first on top, right? So we're going to use our quotient in estimation to help us choose numbers for actual quotient, right? That's our big idea, friends. Big idea, estimate, use your answer to help you choose your numbers for your actual quotient, right? And then we're going to always check our work. See? All right. So 590 and 17. Gee, I feel like 600 is just calling my name right here. And I feel like 17 is just screaming out 20 to me. So another way of writing this would be 60 tens divided by 20, or 2 tens, right? And then 2 divide 60 would be 30, or 3 tens, right? Yes? All right, so now let's take our estimate and let's come up here and do the actual division problem. Now, remember what we talked about yesterday. Since this is 17 can't go into 5, right? So 17 goes into 5 0 times, correct? So instead of just working with 17, I have to come over and grab an additional number in order to make this happen, correct? So 17 going into 59, I would probably choose what? That 3 tens, right? I'm going to go 3 times 17, and we're going to do this here. 3, 4, 5, 51. Oh, that works out quite nicely. Subtract, bring down our 0. And now how many times will 17 go into 80? Well, if 3 took us to 51, I wonder if we should try 3 again or 4. Let's try 4 and see what we get. We're going to end up with 68. Let's try 5. This gives us 85. So 5 is going to be too much, so we need to go down to 4, right? So you know division is just trial and error. But you don't really have to error if you've started off with rounding, right? Because sometimes the hardest step is that first step. And by rounding or estimating, you've just taken that first hardest step and made it easier. So we have 34 with a remainder of 2. So now we're going to go 34 times 17 is going to give us 578. And then we're going to go 578 plus 12. Oh, wait, I forgot to bring down the 1. Whoops, 7. So it's remainder 12. It's going to take us right back to 590. And we knew we have taken us all the way back. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want to see how your estimation skills are. Go ahead and estimate just problem 2 and problem 3. Then I want to see how you did on the estimating. Then we'll move over to the next step. Okay, go ahead, go. All right, so let's look at our 2 estimations. 900 divided by 30, 90 tens divided by 3 tens would be 3 tens or 30. 800 divided by 40 is also 80 tens divided by 4 tens, which is 2 tens, right? All right, so let's go. How'd you guys do? All right?
I did really good. I got it. I got 800 divided by 40. Estimated to that. We couldn't do it right now.
Yes? All right.
I'm the biggest.
All right, so step 2 is to actually go through and solve. So we're going to go 27 divide 8, 87. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the steps that I'm taking, okay? All right, so 27 cannot go into 8, correct? It goes 0 times. Now, remember what we learned yesterday. You don't actually have to write the 0, or you can if it helps you keep your... Okay, so now we're going to take 3 tens, which is 30, right? And we're going to say 27 times 3. And we're going to use 3 up here and see what we get. So 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. We got 81. Now, we're going to bring this down. Now, if you want, you could technically go, wait, 77 and 27. What if I rounded? What if I came over here and I did that same estimating? What if I estimated over here and I went like 60 divide 30? That's going to give me 2, right? So why don't I try 2 in here and see what I get? So 27 times 2, 14, 54. Let's try 27 times 3. Oh, well, we already know what 27 times 3 is. It's 81. So we know it can't be 81. We have to go with 2. So 54. 23 is less. So now we're going to come over here for checking. We're going to go 27 times 32 is 864. And yes, you'll have to do the math. Plus 23 should take us back to 887. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so now let's go for our actual here. So now don't be afraid to use the second number to come over here and do another little set of estimating in order to try to find that next number. 41 divide 839. Now 41 will not go into 8, so we're going to grab the whole number, 83. 41 will go into 83. You go, I'm going to use 2, right?
Yes.
So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. That worked out nicely. Bring down the 9. Now, 41. Now, 41 and 20. 41 and 20. It's not going to go. It certainly can't go in. Can 41 go into 19? No. So it's 0. 0 times, right? And we still are left with a remainder of 19. So this is the step, I mentioned it yesterday. That's the step that might goof you up. So make sure you record. It cannot go, 41 cannot go into 19. It goes into it 0 times and record that 0. Okay? So now we're going to go 41 times 20 equals 820. 820 plus 19 is equal to 839. All right. That ends our concept development for today. And now we're going to go on to problem set. So let's just take a look at the problem set. So looks like we're going to follow the exact same procedure we did in our concept development. I would just estimate right here, because by estimating, it's going to give you that first number that you're going to try out in your division problem. By estimating, it gives you that first number. It makes that first step a little bit easier. Do the estimate, solve, check. Estimate, solve, check. Then on the back, doing the same thing, it says Hallie solved 664 divided by 48 below. So this is what she got. She got a quotient of 13 with a remainder of 40. Okay. How could she use her work below to solve 659, so it's a little bit less, divided by 48, without redoing her work? How could she play around with the idea that 48 divided by 659, 59 is less than 64? How would you play around with those numbers? How would you change the quotient? How would you change the numbers in the quotient? That's all it's asking you to do. What would you actually do? If you knew that it's 13 to go into 664, how might you change the numbers up here? Would you go 13? Or would you go smaller on your numbers? That's what it's asking you. Then, problem 3, 27 students are learning to make balloon animals. There are 172 balloons to be shared equally among the students. Oh my gosh, this is CGI. How many balloons are left over after sharing them? So, what operation are we doing right now? What operation are we doing right now? What operation? Division is our operation, right? Okay, if each student needs 7 balloons, how many balloons are needed? If each student, and we know there are 27 students, if each student needs 7 balloons, how many balloons do they need altogether? Not that hard. Then we have our exit ticket, and then our homework: estimate, solve, check. Then this is exactly like the question on the other page. And this one, a baker is going to arrange 432 desserts into rows of 28. So think about an array. The baker divides 32 by 28 and gets a quotient of 15 with remainder 12. Explain the quotient and the remainder. So explain, what does that mean about with those 12 little extra desserts? What happens to them? What should we do with them?
Throw in the trash. Don't need them anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. That is problem set. And let's go ahead and get started.